I want to talk to you guys about something really important. We're going to talk about marijuana. I smoke marijuana. I get faded. I'm a skater. It's part of skater life. Now, you guys might have heard a lot of misconceptions about marijuana. Weed, bud, dope, reefer. You know what's up. Anyway. The main reason that the elite, I'm not talking about the government, I'm talking about the people who run the government, the super elite, the multi-billionaires. See, they don't want you to have weed because weed does something. So it's something very important. It makes you think. And if I'm running a country, first of all, I don't want to be in competition with anyone else. But if I'm at the top of the food chain, I don't want you thinking. I want to keep you dumb enough to just do a bullshit job. I'm going to design the educational system in a certain way to compartmentalize your brain so that, you know, you'll spend 18 years of your young life in school, and then you'll go to college trying to think that a degree will get you that job so that you can, you know, most likely work at Taco Bell, you know, and you can work all the way till you're 62 and retire, get a shitty little Social Security pension, and then die probably with less than $1,000 to your name, if that. They want to keep you dumb. I never bought into that. Never bought into any of that shit, you know. I'm really anti-government, you know. I do my own thing, I'm my own man. I don't like to have someone over my head, you know, the antagonizing feeling of being micromanaged. I'm my own man, you know, I do my own thing. Anyway, the reason this is important for soaping is because one of the most important things that I did, and not a lot of people know about this except, you know, close friends of mine, is that not every day. When something becomes the center of your life, that's no good, you know. Sometimes I smoke and it might be 6 months go by and I'll smoke again. When I was soaping, you know, I'd be soaping and fucking, I'd go home at night, you know. First of all, I'd be soaping all day, and I'd wake up in the morning and I'd go out fucking, you know, 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., meet up with Jose. We'd be skating at the high school before school, you know, lunch, recess, whatever. I'd be soaping, you know, or hanging with my girlfriend. And then after school, you know, if I wasn't working, I'd be out soaping till fucking 1 in the morning. But still, I'd go home at night, and after a sesh, I didn't just go to sleep. I had this little aluminum pipe, a little cool blue aluminum pipe that my homie Damien got for me from Venice Beach Boardwalk. And I had this, I always kept my weed in this hollowed out book, you know, hide it from moms and shit. And I pack it up and I just, you know, smoke by my little bedroom window and shit. kind of like this, you know. But then what I would do is I'd get high as fuck, dude, and you know, weed would help me visualize even more clearly. You know, there's ways you can open airplane. There's ways that you can open your pineal gland, your third eye, and you can visualize almost in HD, but you know, you have to have a real clear system to do that. And we're going to talk about that part 4 later on in this section. But we can kind of give you a little head start. Anyway, so I would go home and I'd start putting on the soap videos. We had this, the first one, the 97 national sales commercial, the 98 one, whatever. Skate videos, I watched a lot of skate videos. My favorite one was Elements. That was like the, you know, at the end of the 90s, that was like, I think that was one of the top videos. At least I like the soundtrack and shit, but I'd watch all the skate videos, even from like Mad Beef, VG3, VG4, Hoax, Mr. Moose Knuckles, all that shit, Nickel and Dime. Anyway, I'd watch those things, and I wouldn't just watch it. I saw a lot of skaters, they would just watch it and they're kind of like, oh, that's cool, and they get hyped up. They get hyped up to skate, and then they'd go out and skate. They still didn't know like what the fuck they were doing, you know. They were motivated, but they didn't have like the technical skill, you know, or the ability or the mental clarity like, to understand the concepts of the tricks. So I used to take my notepad out and I'd sit there and I'd write notes. Like I'd watch John Julio, I'd be like, okay, he's fish braining like this, and I noticed that he does it with his own style. He has his like signature to his fish brain. And John Julio was known for that trick. You know, I'd watch Roadhouse, I'd watch fucking Dustin Latimer, Kevin Gillen, you know. Those were my skating influences. John Starr, Jake Elliott, you know. Anyway, I'd be watching these dudes, and you know, Jay Dick, that motherfucker was tight. And I just watch what they do, and I was like, okay, this is like my focus group right here. You know, this is my mastermind group. You know, and I didn't know these people, those guys in real life, but I would sit there and I would like notice the commonalities between what they would do, and then I would watch their tricks, and then I was like, okay, how can I implement some of this new school, you know, technology? These tricks are inventions, you know. You watch all the shit that they were doing, and I would take notes, like fucking pages and pages of notes. I'd sit there with my video camera, and I'd, you know, back in the day I had this little high 8 camera, and I'd sit there and talk to myself and give notes and, you know, stuff so that when I sobered up the next day, I could just put the plan into action. Boom. Go up there on my hot rail and I'd go practice everything I did, you know. But the weed, it would like help me see it a little more clear. I could watch it and then I'd be high, I'd be like, you know, I like to keep the lights low like this. I like a lot of candle light, you know. And then I would just fucking like close the door to my bedroom, and then I just sit there on the floor, like meditate, close my eyes, and I could fucking see the tricks, you know. I could see them on the scroll of my mind, you know. And I would sit there and I'd focus on how I was gonna walk up to the rail, what I was gonna be wearing that day, you know. A lot of times we were doing a lot of video shoots, and you know, fashion in the 90s is a lot different than now. You know, we were big into size 50 Jinko jeans, Solo jeans, you know. And I was like, okay, what I want to do is, I want to do a trick like this. I want to do a backside backslide. Boom. And I could just start visualizing it in my head. You know, I like to keep it quiet in the room like this. You know, a lot of times I would actually wear a bandana around my eyes, and I put in earplugs. Call it a blind and deaf meditation. And then I like to keep the room real dark so I could like zone out on everything and just get into that zone where it was like I was awake, but I was dreaming. You know what I mean? And this way, like in my head, I could see the move. I would visualize myself doing it. You know, jumping up on the rail, landing it. I really focus in on, you know, seeing the grind plates and the shoes connect with the rail. I wanted a really smooth lock-in, you know. And then I would focus on the stance, the balance. I wanted to like look smooth, you know. I could see in my head like the way I would come off the rail, how I would jump, pull a spin, pull a mute, pull a safety, stale Japan. I could just see that shit. Like I said, I was addicted to this shit. Anyway, like, just thinking about it, like constantly, you know, was like, you know, I was one with it. Anyway, I'd sit there and like, other times, you know, my mom, when she'd travel for work, so she'd leave for like a week. And then I'd kind of like move into the living room. And I had the real TV set up with all the fucking soap videos, the hours and hours of footage that I had, you know. And I'd just sit there and watch it every night. Like I was like, gotta get better, gotta get better, gotta get better. You know, what can I do to take this sport to the next level? And then that weed, it would just like, it would take me to places that I wouldn't naturally go in my mind. You know, and that's where I started creating these concepts of like synchronized soaping, you know. And I started drawing pictures of me and Danny fucking, and I was trying to do it with like a place where there was like 5 rails, so we could all just boom, like every one of us nailed the same trick. Danny and I went out and we got like a couple pictures of us doing synchronized backslides. You know, we did a shit ton of other tricks. Like I backflipped off this 2-story roof. We were doing a lot of parkour elements before we even knew it was like parkour. It was, back then it was like I was just adding in my martial arts training into it. Like I would jump off a rail and then I would do a dive roll or somersault. I would you know, try to create ways where I was like grinding and I wanted to like backflip off of something. I wanted to run up the wall and do backflips and shit in the middle of lines, you know, hit this rail, run over here, you know. And I wanted to like, I just wanted to take it further than what it was. And we, you know, we ended up turning in a lot of this footage, and Soap just looked at us and was like, yeah, we Soap, we don't want to really endorse this. We don't want to be known like that. We, you know, they're just you guys should just go out and like do the front sides like what they were made for. Go to, you know, hang out at the beach and slide on your shoes, you know. And it was fucked up, man. All that old footage, a lot of it, you know, was deleted off of a hard drive of mine. Back in like 2003, I lost this. There was a power outage. Shit tons of home videos, gigabytes. I had like written over 3,000-4,000 songs. I do rap shit too, music. Poof, gone. Sucks, but it, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, it's like, but weed though, you know, just sitting there and like go into a place in your mind and like being able to really visualize. I'm not saying that you need weed to do it. You can visualize on your own. It's just that it's a little different. I also do visualization, you know, sober, which it's just different. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different, you know. And but I think the most important thing was, you know, record what you're thinking about. You know, if you have an idea, you know, a new trick, you know, if you come up with something that's cool that no one's ever seen before, like, you got to write it down. There's this quote by this one dude, I forget his name, but it's basically like, you know, ideas are like slippery fish, and unless you pierce them with the point of a pencil, they just swim away, you know. And that's how it happens, you know. Ideas will just come to you out of fucking the ether, boom, in your head. All of a sudden, you're like, you have this like aha moment. That's like, oh shit, like, I gotta do this. I gotta do, dude. If I could do this trick, you know what? Anyway, like, that shit will happen. But if you don't write it down, you know, all of a sudden, you ever had that feeling where you're like, man, I had this cool idea and I forgot it. It's like, now it's worthless, you know, it's gone. It's back out there. But weed, it just always helped me visualize shit, you know. And I remember sitting there at the computer and I would like retype all my notes, you know. When I was starting to think, I was like, what can I do to get better at this? You know, I see all these people doing tricks, but not a lot of switch. So what if I learn all the tricks plus doing them switch? What if I learn them all switch 270? What if I learn them all switch 270 backside? What if I add a spin off the end of that, you know? Which was kind of cool, because then I'm like crushing the competition. You know, I'd go out with some friends soaping and they're trying, you know, bust out a royal. I'm doing it now, 270 switch backside with a spin out, with a mute out, and it was just like, you know, that felt good, like tearing up the competition, picking up bitches. Like, we'd be soaping at the mall and fucking chicks would see us and they're like, you know, whoa, what are you doing? Like, then we're just like, yo, these are soap shoes, and they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, girls, man. So you guys, like, I don't know, skateboarders, bladers, you probably, you know, I know you probably hate on this, but I'd say out of all the aggressive sports, just what I noticed, you know, other than surfers get mad pussy. I'm not gonna, it's snowboarders too, but soapers, we get laid like rock stars. We're different, and different stands out. What do people notice? Things that stand out, you know. Bitches see us sliding in shoes, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They want to, you know, they're compelled to like walk over. Bitches are curious, so they come over and they'll start like, what's going on? You're sliding in shoes, you know. It's such an amazing conversational opener, you know. It breaks the ice in so many ways. We'll leave that shit for the director's cut. I put a lot of that kind of shit in the book. We'll keep that there. But it's cool, man. So anyway, weed, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's powerful. Use your mind. Think. Use it to visualize. You don't even have to use it. It doesn't even have to be about soaping. It could be anything you want to do in your life, anything you want to progress with. You know? Don't make it the center of your life. If you catch yourself smoking every fucking day, just, it's not that that's bad, just be aware of that, because you do need to actually get out there and be productive and make shit happen. But for real, like, weed is your friend. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And on the reels, I've been working rock and roll shows for 9 years out here. Gone on little tours, done residency tours, some of the top bands in the world. Every one of those motherfuckers smoke weed. And they'll all say the same shit. It helps them create, helps them make music. You know, it motivates. It can motivate you big time. Anyway, all that dare shit, fucking cops, they don't know any better. They're ignorant, you know. They're just doing what they're told. They're like puppets on strings, you know what I'm saying? That's coming from higher up, coming from people that are, you know, put laws into action. They're, you know, they're bought. You guys know you ain't really free, you know. You're all slaves. You think you're free, but you know, you're really a slave. If you were free, you wouldn't work 9 to 5 and you wouldn't be locked up in school. Public school is really just a prison for younger people, giving you the idea that you're getting an education, but the shit that they're teaching you in school, it's pretty much worthless. You want to sit there and all day and learn your times tables? For what? And you know it. You can probably feel it inside that you're never going to use that, and guess what? You're not. We got Google, there's calculators, you don't need that shit. You know, the only real skills that you need in life is how to lead other people and how to deal with people. That's how you conquer. That's how you rule. That's how you become untouchable. You can manage other people. And you become a leader of men. You know, I don't need to learn my times tables. I can go on my phone calculator and get it. If I need information about whatever subject, I can find some technical nerd to tell me what it is that I need to know. What your job is as a man is to run shit. Fuck this, I know we're going really long on this segment and we gotta move on. It's you get this boy faded, I'll just lecture all night, and I don't want to do that. I want to smoke and I want to chill and do my thing. But for real, like, I'm not joking. What I'm saying is, take advantage. Don't be fooled by propaganda. I'll smoke out till I hit the 10th level of meta soap, bro. Like, take it to a whole new level. Alright.